welcome to yet another episode of the Hlena Talks, where laughter and learning are our weekly dose. It is all about science, art, politics, and business. So stay tuned because I know I got what you need. But first, let us have the news headlines. I am HELLEN.A.OWUOR. In the stories making headlines, Kenyans angry after Kenyatta National Hospital CEO denies rape allegations. An expert warns that chocolate should never be kept in the fridge. A film based on the Mandera bus attack has been nominated for the Oscars. And finally, Cleopa Mailu, the health CS, has banned shisha over health risks. That is it from the Hlena Talks news desk. My name is HELLEN.A.OWUOR. Today is yet another day for a topic to keep you buzzing. The youth have been blinded by the use of drugs, in which many of them compare themselves to celebrities who use these same drugs. Do you know of cannabis sativa? This is a plant species commonly known as marijuana or bhang or weed. And it has very many effects. Some are beneficial, but some may be said to be disadvantageous to the human body. Our science reporter Brian Kirui will give us more insight on this.
We say that all our actions have consequences. This also applies to those who take marijuana and other drugs in Kenya. So, with the 2017 petition by Gwada Ogot to legalize the marijuana use, due to its medicinal and industrial uses, many have had different reactions to this.
I believe that bhang should be legalized because as we can refer from the scripture, God has given us all the plants that bear fruits and seeds for human use, for food. And I think bhang is a natural plant.
I feel that perhaps it should be legalized, perhaps it should not be legalized because one, most people misuse it, and two, because it has like medical uses, recreational uses. You can prescribe it to someone who has stress, someone who has issues with pain due to cancer medication or radiation, things like that.
It shouldn't be legalized for one reason. A lot of people, and let me say the young guys, misuse it. There's a lot of users, yes, because even doctors try their best to prescribe at some level, but a lot of guys misuse it. That's why it shouldn't be legalized.
I'm 50-50 about the whole issue, considering the fact that in some countries, yes, it has been legalized with the reason that it can be used as a pain-relieving drug. But then again, I feel like people might take advantage of the whole situation and misuse the drug.
We have witnessed the fall of many as they struggle with drug addiction. Some recover and some do not. I headed out to find how bhang, a commonly used drug by the youth, can cause harm to one's health and even its benefits, if any. Mr. Jared Menecha explains.
Yeah, marijuana has got, we talk of a positive and negative effects. And some of the positive effects, let me start with them, but I want to say that with caution. One of them, they say that it's used to treat eating disorders, for example, anorexia. It's also used in treating acute pains. It's also used to treat other conditions, for example, people who have problems with the digestive system. But those are just a few of them. Yeah. Some of the negative effects of marijuana is that one of them is that it makes people feel high. And even as they try to do that, there's a big problem with that because they are not themselves. They lose what we call personal identity. At the same time, because of the prolonged use of marijuana, it affects the brain and bring about other problems like depression, anxiety. We also have schizophrenia. We have other acute problems such as bronchitis. We have others, for example, other problems such as acute psychosis. And therefore, we find that the negative effects outweigh the positive effects. Yeah. In my own view, we should legalize marijuana in Kenya with some limitations. Why am I saying that? We have to limit that to medical usage only. It's only because of the way it is in Kenya that we have tried to criminalize actually the plants and even the products. That's why we have these problems coming up. And at the end of the day, what makes these people is that they go to an extent of using marijuana in the raw form, which is actually very dangerous to their health. So what is very important is that the Kenyan perception is that we can actually legalize that, but with a lot of limitations to medical uses.
Well, there are always two sides of a coin, and with that there are those that are against the legalization of bhang, and there are those that are for it. We may say that ignorance plays a big role in ruining the lives of the youth, and some of them do not even know the dangerous effects of taking bhang. Here is more to shed light on the topic. Considering the influence of bhang and the possibility of its legalization here in Kenya, I got to talk to Miss Irene, a student counselor at Daystar University who has dealt with cases of drug addiction before.
Marijuana, cannabis, sativa, you know, all those long names. Weed, yeah, it's a drug which is common in our days. In fact, some research says it's one of the most common used drug in our world today. And why people want maybe to legalize it is that it can be used especially for people who are terminally ill, like in cancer patients and HIV. But of course, those are to the extreme, maybe at the fourth stage of cancer or when somebody is at the final stages of HIV. Okay, now as a psychologist, I would say, based on the people we have seen and the research we have seen, the negatives outweigh the positive. Because especially when somebody becomes psychotic, they start hearing voices, they start not, you know, seeing things which no one else is seeing. They start becoming more prone to anxiety attacks, depression. So for them, it takes now a downhill progress. They can also become addicted in that they cannot function without this drug. So that's why we say as much as there are some positive, the negatives far much outweigh, and in the long term, it's hard to get out of that addiction. You know, the thing is, we usually say even if it's legalized, like in hospital, it will start in the hospital, but somehow it will find its way into the market. And unfortunately, the people who suffer are the ones who are vulnerable. Maybe one thing which, any drug which is legalized, one thing which you need to do is to educate the public. So of course, bhang also, you know, that it's the same thing, that it makes somebody not sleep, it makes somebody work harder, it increases alertness, you know, and those are the arguments people use for bhang, you know, and that's why they're like, it's so easily available, why can't we legalize it, but with precautions? So that's why we usually say any drug that is going to be legalized, alcohol is legal, but we have seen what it has done. So let's do education. But for me, as a psychologist, because of the cases I've dealt with and the harm I've seen it doing physically, psychologically, socially, financially, I would say that's not a step we are ready to take right now. One of the first things when you realize you've gone towards addiction is to see somebody. Most likely we say see a professional, a counselor, a doctor, a psychiatrist, or somebody, so that they do an assessment. One of the things we like them going to the hospital is they assess the percentage in their system. Is it harmful? Is it manageable? Then after doing the assessment, we now know the steps. Do you need to go for a detox to have these drugs flush out? Do you need to go for counseling to help you deal? Maybe there's an underlying issue which is leading you there, or do you just need social support? You know, the people around you, if they support you, you can make the right choice.
According to a report launched at the Pan-Afrique Hotel in 2016, marijuana was the most abused drug among the youth. Apart from creating awareness, it all boils down to making a personal decision to get rid of drugs and drug addiction. Reporting for the Hlena Talks, it is I, Kirui Brian.
Thank you for that informative report, Brian Kirui. In a few minutes, I will be in studio with Stephen Tengo, where we will get to discuss whether or not bhang should be legalized in Kenya. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Hlena Talks interview segment, and I'm in studio with one Stephen Tengo, who is a lifestyle reporter, and he will get to tell us more about himself. So, Stephen, yes, let us know more about you.
My name is Stephen Tengo. I'm a lifestyle reporter, I'm an event organizer, and I'm also a student of physiology.
Physiology?
Yes.
That's nice. In 2017, Gwada Ogot wanted to petition for the legalization of bhang.
Yeah.
Do you support this?
Yeah, I totally support this. I don't even think we need a petition for this.
Yes.
According to me, marijuana is a plant, just like any other, created by God. And what is its purpose? Its purpose is to beautify the earth. So when we consume it, what are we doing? We are beautifying our bodies. And what are we doing again? We are taking care of God's creation. Because it was created by God, it wasn't created by man. God created everything and he saw that it was good. So we really cannot even have this debate on whether it should be legalized. You know, it should just be let to exist on its own, just like the way you can see a tree, pass a tree, and you don't even bother with the tree.
So you mentioned that you take it and it purifies your body, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that there are negative effects of marijuana?
Well, I don't really think there are any negative effects because I think they are just effects that are not familiar with society, you know? Because there are people who have never taken marijuana, so they antagonize it and they don't even have any knowledge of that feeling.
Okay. Based on what you're saying, I feel like you've not really done enough research because according to you, it doesn't really have negative effects.
My research is totally right, it is on point, it is totally correct, and that is why I even have the confidence to say here live in front of all these cameras that marijuana should be legal and it is very healthy. It should just be like how people take kales. You buy kales from a kibanda, you go home, you cook it, nobody asks you about anything. That should be the same case with marijuana. So
recently we had the banning of shisha. Do you support that?
Yes, I support the banning of shisha. And you see, shisha has a variety of impurities, and I would say this openly because first of all there is nicotine. Now we don't know all these chemicals that they merge with it, so that now they create this fragrances and everything. And like marijuana is totally pure, natural.
Yes.
Talking about natural, so you're talking about something natural right here.
Yes.
It's all about involving as many people as possible to get the experience and the feeling. And for somebody like you coming on board and having this experience, it will be very important for you to also, so that you can have different perspectives.
Okay, well, I believe I don't really have to try something to really know its side effects. From seeing,
you can't just read about it. You have to experience it. It has to
from seeing what other people have gone through, who have taken bhang. Yes, I would say I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Watch other people. People take bhang and they become billionaires. Do you know that? People take bhang and they climb mountains.
Because of bhang.
Because no.
So it triggers.
Not because of bhang. No. Because they have taken into their bodies a creation of God.
Yes. You keep mentioning it's God's creation.
Yes.
Do you eat anything that is God's creation? For example, I am human, you're human. Would you take my meat because I'm God's creation?
Yes, I will take your meat.
Really?
Yeah. It depends. I'm taking it for what? So, I can take it and remember this is Helen.
So you would allow cannibalism, let's say even in your family, or let's say your son was you would allow that?
Yeah. Why? Why will I allow that? Because I can't restrict his tastes.
That's strange. The government of Kenya has not been able to control the taking of alcohol, let's say from 18 and below. How will they be able to control those who take marijuana?
They're not supposed to control them. They're supposed to let it happen. Just I've said, just like if you go to a kiosk and you buy greens. You take the greens, you go home, you cook them. Nobody asks you. Nobody comes to your door and hey, so you're eating greens right now. Let's go to jail. That is the same attitude that you need to have for marijuana. You take marijuana, you smoke it, you can smoke it even when you walk to church.
Now when it comes to alcohol, for example, is it justified for the government to arrest the underage, below 18, who take alcohol?
Well,
or when they do something wrong due to the influence of alcohol.
It is justified because alcohol is not natural. Alcohol is processed.
Yes.
Marijuana is created by God.
Okay.
You can pluck marijuana from a garden, but you can't pluck alcohol.
Yes.
You have to take the barley. You have to mix the barley. Then now
isn't barley natural? Isn't barley a natural?
Barley is natural, but it is not the only thing that makes the alcohol. See, so you can plant it and take it right there. Okay. You can't plant barley and take it right there. That is why this interview cannot bring me here and you want to antagonize me by bringing other topics.
I am sorry, sir, I'm not antagonizing you. That is all about looking at different aspects of this just to get to an understanding.
I am on a mission here to advocate for the positive outlook of marijuana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this cannot. I can't be intimidated.
Oh, okay, fine. Those are totally your views, and I understand because of
And you
course
should take marijuana. That's what you should allow me to take you out.
we have
if you
been through
marijuana.
that question many times.
Let
And
me take.
thank you. I have heard whatever you've said, and it is fine. I think we can leave it at us being.
We can leave it at
having,
marijuana should be legalized.
Okay,
That
fine.
is where we can leave it.
We will see where the petition will get to.
We don't need a petition.
And-
We don't need a petition.
Okay, fine. I've heard you. Thank you very much for your time. It has been great having you here, and I really appreciate. Well, that was Stephen Temo, and I can say it has been heated here, but we will have more of this at another time. Thank you. What an interview, ladies and gentlemen. From that, you can clearly see that we have our own opinions on various issues. Coming up next is Word on the Street after the short break.
Wake up now, it's coming. A happy day is born. Wake up now, it's coming. Good taste and golden morn. Golden morn, golden morn.
Hi, my name is Aika and I'm here at the PSC Daystar University at the River Campus. So as you can see, this is where people just chill, have some fun, get to talk when they're maybe just letting loose and stuff like that. Even after exams, you can just sit and talk. So currently there was a ban about bhang. There was a ban on bhang, yeah, I know. And so I just want to find out the positive and negative effects of the drug and what people know of and not have heard of. So let me just go and ask a few questions. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So what are the positive and negative effects of bhang? The ones you know and those you've heard of.
Okay. What I have heard of and what I know from friends is bhang makes you go crazy. The negative effects, and the positive effects is it makes you feel relaxed and calm. From what my friends have told me also.
Okay. So as you've heard from Michelle, the bhang can make you feel good. Those are among the positive effects, and bhang can also make you go crazy. So let's just find out from someone else what they think about the same topic and their opinion and whatever they've heard of and stuff like that. So let's look for someone. Oh, here's someone. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Joyce.
Okay, so what are the positive and negative effects of bhang? Those you've heard of and those that you know of yourself.
Positive effects. I've heard that bhang can be used as an antidepressant. It also helps in increasing appetite for people who do not have appetite. It also makes people happy, emotionally happy, like people laugh a lot when they're high. That's what I heard. But negative effects, I think it's time consuming because people waste a lot of time smoking bhang. And I've also had people go crazy, and it's not a good thing. Thank you.
Okay, as you've heard it from Joyce, people can go crazy because of this drug. Anyway, it's called bhang. That's it. My name is Aika, and this is Hlena Talks.
If you missed the earlier segments of this episode, we talked about cannabis sativa and how it can cause mental illnesses to individuals. Get to learn more in our next episode as we get all political. Before we say goodbye, we have some tips for you. Well, now you know. I have been your lovely host, Hellen.A.OWUOR. See you next time.